Everybody, welcome. Today we're actually going to talk about Terri Irwin's daily habits with her kids. I've been watching Dancing with the Stars this year, and her son is on it. And then I've been watching all these interviews with him and people asking him about like, oh wow, like what did your mom do differently that like you seem like such a kind, loving individual. And so there was a video that popped up after a while on my YouTube, and she was asked like, what did she do? And I think she brought up different things, but these three questions really stuck with me, and I want to share them with you and show you how it could really help you and yeah, just help anyone that you're with if you guys end up doing this on a daily basis. They're really easy to incorporate, and they're wonderful to have because they're going to increase your joy and just your frequency overall. And so she has these three questions that she asked. And so another reason also I want to say that I incorporated it is because so I wrote this down on my phone on Monday afternoon. And then on Tuesday, I'm doing a course where Michael Beckwith is the teacher. And at the end, he said, do for before the next class, which is the Tuesday coming up, he said, do an act of like giving or not even giving, just an act of like kindness without someone knowing that you did something. And so that's the focus. So I was like, oh, that's so fantastic, because a month before, maybe even a month and a half before, I started thinking about randomly, which obviously is not random, I think, about how I used to like feel good doing nice things for people. Um, but I still do a lot of good things, but my focus is not solely on that. And it's important, like the intention, obviously. And I like a lot of that had stopped. Like I used to feel really good doing good things for people, and I used to do so many good things. But then when I was going through the stages of like figuring out that like, okay, well, I people pleased a lot, and then learning about my boundaries and stuff like that, other questions would come up before I would go and act on doing something good for someone. Be like, oh, do I really want to do that? Is that what I do? And so I feel like even though I still do a lot of good deeds and a lot of good things for people to bring joy, but I also like focus on myself as well. But I think the question I ask before I do it um, has changed the way I feel about it. So I wanted to bring back that feeling because I feel like I have a lot of good boundaries now and I know myself more. So I was just like, I want that feeling of bringing that like type of joy and happiness of like doing good things and seeing people smile and stuff. Like I loved that. Um, Says a former people pleaser, but yeah, I feel like it's good to do good things and to bring joy because we're circulating that energy. Because then like I would see that like that person has like a really great day, and I would know that like if someone would do something to me, or if I found something on the floor, like I would have like a really like a greater day. And then like you feel lucky, and you are lucky. And so, but it takes other people doing things as well to circulate that as well. We're all working with the universe. So someone does something, creates a ripple effect. And so what I started doing a month ago was leaving $1. I'm going like this because we have $1 in coins here, and also like bigger coins as well. If I didn't have $1, because we use a lot of cards here, and so making like it intentional to try to get more coins was also a thing. So, but I started like with like family members, and then like putting coins like in places that I think someone would find. It's not like it's getting lost or something. Like someone would find it, or it's like lost until it's found, but somewhere where I think someone will have it, but not knowing that like when they would find it and stuff like that, but knowing that it would bring them joy. Um, because just even like a quarter or loonie or something, like even a dime, like brings a dime, which is like 10 cents here. It's like it brings a lot of joy to a lot of people to just know that like a lot of people believe that it's lucky, and I believe it's lucky. And so it's like being part of that circulation and knowing that like it could bring that level of happiness and joy, and um, it could help them throughout their day and believe in that, like, you know, there's good in the world, or that they're lucky and that luck will create this like higher frequency and make them do other things. And like right now it's 111 here. And so these little things and coincidences that are, I think that are not, they're synchronicities. But so let's get back to this part though. So yeah, so I started doing that, and then last week when this video popped up, and I had written down her questions on the Monday, and then Tuesday night we had this class, and I was just like, okay, I hear you, universe. I want to make a video that incorporates all of this so that people know that, like, to be more conscious of this, to be more mindful of this. And what I love about Terri Irwin's and Michael Beckwith's thing, and my thing as well, is that like is to be more conscious. And Terri Irwin's is what we're going to focus on today, because she has like 3 questions to ask daily. Is like, well, what can that do for you when you incorporate that into your life, your kids' life, or your family's life, your friend's life daily? And obviously, like, you can't enforce that on your friends and family and stuff, but your kids and stuff, you could ask them every day, and that would have a profound effect on them. And so making sure managing expectations and stuff as well, and being compassionate is important. I'm going to get into that. So what are her 3 questions? Number 1, what's your favorite part of the day? Fantastic question, because you're going to start looking for good throughout the day. You're going to start being like, oh, okay, well, like this, something that happened that you deem as bad is not going to be like, oh my God, I had a bad day. You're going to be like, okay, this part of the day was really great. And so I think that's a fantastic way to be able to look at your day as well. But to know that, like, I feel like it could create a sense of, okay, there's different parts of the day, and one thing happening doesn't mean the whole day is bad or anything. So at first you might be like, okay, I guess I woke up, that was the best part of the day, or laying in bed for a few minutes. But over time, when you keep doing this and finding good things about your day, your brain's gonna start being like, oh, okay, oh, I really like that about today, and like and it can make you more mindful when it happens, because you're just like, okay, well, we're gonna be asked these questions tonight at dinner, or I'm gonna be like, I ask these questions to myself before bed or something. So it's just like, wow, okay, I could say that as my favorite part of the day. And then something else, oh my God, no, this is my favorite part of the day. So you could say just like, what's something good that happened today, even, because that could be better for some people, to just be like, oh, okay, there's like good throughout the day, and you could find good throughout the day. What's something great? What's something great that happened today, even, could be a really good one. But it's along the same lines of like what she said. So number 2, what are you looking forward to tomorrow? Also another fantastic one. And it's not about living in the future. It's about living in a space of knowing that, like, there's hope. There's hope for tomorrow. And some people could really be uplifted by this. I think everyone can be uplifted by this, but some more than others, but giving them hope for tomorrow. What are you looking forward to tomorrow? But making sure you don't live in like the future, of like, like, you know, dismissing the present moment and today, and just being like, oh, I can't wait till tomorrow, like this is gonna happen and whatever, and blah blah, and just like living in that space and possibly creating like anxiety and stuff about that. But just being like, focusing on like, oh, your day was fantastic and whatnot, but giving you hope for tomorrow of like, oh, I'm really grateful, and like, you know, looking forward to tomorrow. And those words specifically, right? Looking forward to, hope, that gives a sense of hope for the brain. Number 3, what's your good deed of the day? Your good deed of the day is fantastic, and it ties into like me leaving like the coins and Michael Beckwith's class of like doing a good deed, him saying like, okay, do a good deed but without anyone else knowing, is all part of like doing good deeds. And what I really like about this is like focusing on this every day. And when you start doing good deeds every day, you feel more abundant, you feel more prosperous, you feel your frequency is just going to be higher in general, because you're going to feel like, oh, I have something to give. And actually, like the way I'm even wording that, like, is like, oh, Michael Beckwith has said that countless times throughout like his teachings and stuff that I've watched. And so it's like you have something to give. And see, so something that I've watched so many times now, it's like ingrained in me. And so what's your good deed of the day really makes me feel like, oh, I have something to give. And it's not like, oh my God. He also talks about like not waiting till when you have to give, knowing that you have, so that you could circulate that energy of like, no, I like, you have something to give, knowing that you are able to, and stuff like that. And that creates that sense of like circulation and stuff. And I'm sure he says that in a different way. And so, but yeah, like he talks about that all the time, right? And so, and when I started doing that more, I was able, like when he would say that, I was just like, oh, I totally understood that. I was like, even like, I was like, okay, I totally get it, because then I'm like staying in the feeling tone of like, okay, when that happened, when this happened, like, but it's just like, well, if someone else was to look at my life, they'll be like, wow, you have like all these things, it's so amazing, you have enough, you're, blah blah blah. And it's just like, so from their space, I do have more than enough. And it's just like, so creating this habit of like, okay, I have enough and I'm so grateful I get to give, and creating that sense of good energy when I'm able to, that I am able to give, right? So I don't have like this weird icky feeling of like once in a while like wanting to give and feeling like, oh my God, I don't want to, or stuff like that. No, I already have this energy, so I'm giving all the time. And I know that that's and he's very careful with the words of like circulating that energy, and because it's always going to come back. So it's like it's an energy, right? Like all the resources are a type of energy. And so yeah, so I thought that was fantastic, because when she said the good deeds every day, because when I started doing the coin thing, like as simple as like I had a quarter one day and my niece was here just for a short time, so I looked through my purse and I saw, okay, I have a quarter. So I was just like, hey, let me leave it somewhere where I know she's gonna see it soon. And so then like she was so excited. I was just like, what's going on? She's like, oh my God, I found a quarter, blah, blah. Like you could tell like she felt really lucky and her energy was different and it was changed. And it's not to say that like I'm making something, making her feel like something external is changing, but like internally she feels like lucky and excited and joyful, and like all these other frequencies are happening and being increased, and it's like a amazing ripple effect. And it's so fantastic. And it's like, just even like someone, they could have like millions of dollars, but like maybe they keep finding 10 cents, which is like a smaller coin, on the ground several times, or like twice a day for the next few days. They're like, wow, like, they might start thinking like, wow, I'm so lucky. They talked about like, oh no, that does not, like, it's like that sense of luck. And it's not that like people are placing it all the time, but it's like, it's great to know that like you could be part of that too, part of that energy of like increasing that energy for someone, and that good that they feel could ripple into like maybe them doing something good with a building that they built, something better, making them think more creative, like, just like these awesome ripple effects that could happen from increasing the joy and frequency of people, and people around the world, and human and animals too, right? As well. So I feel like it's like a good thing to like ripple and circulate into the world, and it feels good. Like it feels really good. And I wouldn't say to start doing it in a way that like is gonna put you in a state that like, oh my God, this is so much and blah blah. And then it's just like, well, you could work on that energy before you take that step, because it might be like a bigger jump than you're used to. But I'm not saying to put yourself in a space where you are like it feels too intense at the moment, unless you have someone to work with you through that. Especially if it's like the first step or first time making this type of step and whatever, because you want to be able to keep that energy high as well. It'll be helpful for you. So it's more so about doing like little things. So one thing Michael Beckwith also talked about last week was just like making sure that you know that like it doesn't just have to be about money. Doing a good deed could just be like even writing a card, but again, making sure the person doesn't know that it's coming from you. So maybe be mindful of like your handwriting and stuff or whatnot, but just like doing something good that someone might not know. So like this past week, so because I'd written this thing down from Terri Irwin's on Monday, and that was like playing in my head, and then Tuesday night he was talking about this, and then I was already doing the coin thing, but then it helped me expand my mind into other things that I could do, and then it also helped me see like all these other little things that I've been doing that like that made me more grateful for like for being like more of a kind, loving person. That I was like, oh, what else can I do today? Like, I'm visiting family and I'll be staying at their house. So like, what could I do that would be very helpful? And then that's a good deed. And then Michael Beckwith's thing of like, without them knowing, which plays into like me leaving a coin that no one knows, but me thinking about it like just outside of that. Like outside of like leaving the coins, being more expansive, doing it in many different ways. So it's like making my brain think of like, oh, that would be so nice, and I think they would appreciate that. And 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 I don't need the recognition for it, but I'm glad that like I could do that. I'm able to do that and stuff like that. So and then I started realizing like, oh, I could fill this up or do this, and I'm just like, oh, I actually do fill all these things up when like I'm here and whatnot and blah blah. And so like, oh, I could just do this one too as well, because I think this would be helpful. So it was like really great to see that like it was doing so much more for me than I even thought. It was really helping me be grateful for who I am. And it is because it's been less than a week now of like doing Terry's and Michael's idea, like expanding it outside of like my coin stuff and doing it like a daily thing. And so very, very great things that I think you could add to your day and see the good that could come from it. Even just hearing about someone, oh my God, like I found $5 on the ground, or oh my God, someone sent me like a postcard or whatnot. Like I'm just thinking like, because Michael Beckwith said you could write a card. I'm thinking postcard, but so many other ways. But that's what's so cool. It starts expanding your mind of like different ways you could be like kind, loving, opening up a door for someone, and stuff like that. But again, I want you to keep in mind that like, of course, you want to be compassionate with yourself. Like, oh, I didn't do anything today. Like, no, the whole point is like to raise your frequency and to ripple that frequency and circulate that frequency. So you're not trying to like your brain might try to put you like the brain that you have inside, like the mind is going to try to like maybe say like, oh, you didn't do it today, maybe you're not enough or blah blah blah. It's just like, oh, okay, you know what, the brain might start like, once the brain says that, like, Mina said the brain might start doing this. So you know what, no, she said, now I get to be excited because now tomorrow I could think of something else, and it's going to maybe make it more of like a little mission for me to make sure that I do it tomorrow, you know. And some people like do it all the time too, do so many things and stuff, and so it makes you be present and grateful about, oh my God, I do that, like, wow, that is really kind of me. And so it gives you a lot of self-love, which is also like, there's just going to be so many bonuses of like doing something nice and you're doing something nice for someone else, but it's also something nice for you. So it's really great. So yeah, be compassionate with yourself, and and allow yourself, like, even just like you could Google it or chat GPT it. Like, what are small ways that I could do a good deed without someone knowing? Um, and yeah, and so you could do it like that as well. And so what else? Yeah, just like be mindful. Of course, we're not trying to like make you overstep any boundaries or anything. Um, and by we, I'm not sure. Me and the universe. But yeah, so, and yeah, I just think it's fantastic. It's just like another like amazing thing that you could add in your life. And I'm not saying that like, oh, she said that these three things are the only things that she did and that was it and whatnot, but I could totally see how these three things could really expand and rewire the mind and really make you look at life optimistically, positively, more creatively, be more in touch with like your intuition because you're staying in a higher frequency as well. That doesn't mean that's the only way you could stay in high frequencies or the only way that you could listen to your intuition, but I just think these are just some fantastic ways of adding life into your life, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so I hope you have a really, really magical week and just like have fun with this, right? Like just if it's like, don't let it this be like a daunting thing. Just say like, oh, I'm noticing that like I'm connecting with this energy of like, oh, okay, I got to do this. And it's okay if you do this at work first, you're going through the motion stuff, but it's like when you remember that like, oh, Mina said like, oh, the brain might do that. I get to choose that like I'm going to have fun with this. Have fun with it. Do it in a way that like you like. Do it in your way, your specific unique way that like you're going to enjoy, you're going to like, and yeah, just like just have fun. Have fun with it. Bring joy into your life, ripple that joy, circulate that joy, and I hope you have like a magical time doing it. But yeah. Bye.